Hey, NASDAQ, where you get the best dope on the markets. We're going to talk soybeans. I am Alan Palmer. This is soybeans. It is 6/6/26. Stocks were down. NASDAQ was down 4% yesterday. Grains were down. Grains were down big this week. It started up at around $12. We're at 11.30 here. This is for November beans. I wanted to go talk about this here. Let's look at, this is a daily chart, okay? This is a daily chart here. So right here, this cross through, okay? And it's hard to get really bared up, you know? It's a trader profile. But anyway, here, let me go to an intraday and show how this looks and how it was. Okay, so here, where did we break that trend line? Right here. Okay. We broke the trend line. Okay. This is on, this is on the 4th. Let me just go back here. This is the 3rd. Okay. This is the 2nd. This is the 3rd. And it was the beginning of the month. Okay. And it was the beginning of the month. They did not have buy-in, I guess, right? So, okay, so we're up. We closed right here at 1177, and at the 6 is 3/4, okay? Do you see it in that box right there? And then this day here, watch this. See, 1185 is almost the high here. But where we opened, here, we closed there at 1178. Let's go back. This is an intraday. Okay, it's right here. Okay, here, let's blow this up. Okay, so we saw what a trend line breakout to the downside was like. Okay, and then this is on the 2nd here. This is the day before the 3rd. Okay, and so here's where we closed, 1177 3/4. Okay, and then this was the next bar. Okay, so this was the end of the day, and this was the 830 bar. Okay, so we closed through that trend line, and we opened. What was this, about 15 cents higher? 77, no, 77, what was the high here? 83 and a half. Okay, this was a nickel here. Okay, but let's go back to the day chart. This day, it was 1184 and a half, okay? Which means it was in the overnight. 1184 and a half, okay? So you're looking at this, okay? You got long-term trend lines coming down, and it looks like they don't play, right? You know, it does play for a couple, it does, okay? Lows and highs or something like that, but it's a long-term trend line. Here's another long-term trend line, okay? And then here, this is a short-term trend line, okay? Right here. So you got a head, you got a shoulder, you got a right shoulder, and then the neckline would be in here. Here, look at this. You got this shoulder, left shoulder, this right shoulder, and head, and then this right shoulder right here. Okay, so this is a head and shoulders. It doesn't have to be, doesn't have to be perfect like this. You go down, hold, come down here, and then come down here. But you can absolutely pay attention to these right here, because the market was bottoming here, okay? In hindsight, okay? I'm not saying this isn't an I told you so. It never is, okay? It never is. Okay, so let's talk about beans just in general, okay? So we had the funds buy this, okay? And the funds are liquidating, okay? I've got a couple olive buys, okay? And sometimes they'll here, for example, here, they down here you had an olive. It was pretty perfect. 34 into goats. I just put, this 1134 is brand new here, okay? Trend line off these lows back here in October, okay? I also want to call, that's at what is it, 1134? Because we could go a lot lower. Absolutely, we could go to $10. I mean, we could go lower, okay? Ignore these little blue ones here. I'll have to clean that up later. So the funds have been selling, okay, relentlessly, really all week, or the last 3 days anyway. Let's just call out, these are November beans here. I just put this one on here. This is around 1138 3/4. This isn't really, but I do like to call it out, or 1136. Okay, so that adds a little weight. This is last year's high. Okay, that was one of the first ones. Okay, and then the bull goes. Okay, and then and then it becomes saturated. So we'll see here because the funds could sell here. There's no two ways about it. They could look at the crop and say the crop's made. Well, what do you mean? It's not even planted. Well, some of the things that were going up on that were fertilizer. Okay, whatever it is, mute the news. Somewhat. Don't trade on it. They say buy the rumor, sell the fact. And then one more thing here. So we can go from these olives to this green right here, which is at 1150. That's a pretty big strike here. I would play that to sell. If you haven't, well, this is for specking, okay? If you were a farmer and didn't sell it up there, I don't know. Keep the last 10% gambling beans. But so because we take this out here, we could go a lot lower. Okay, but in the meantime here, we might get a bounce here. And then this 1164 over at 1150. What is that? 1150 half. Okay. These are just some levels here. I'm not saying anything can happen. We have geopolitical events like, weekly. Okay, and that means that things can change. Okay, for example, you put a tariff on something, beans, whatever it is. Okay, it's going to have an effect. Okay, let's move to the bean oil here. This has been up here for a long time. 79 even, 78.89. Okay, olive line sell. We went up here three days. And then what was the high this day? 78.74. That last time, and you look at this. You close the hair over it, under it. Okay, here. And the trading was, what? The only thing you could do is sell it with a new high stop. Okay? This is actually two numbers because there is one more up here at around 81. Okay, but this is also something else. There was something else right there at that olive line within like 10 cents. So anyway, that hit it here, 69.32. If you're looking 1,000 points lower, 1,100 lower. We were down 250 yesterday. Or 2 days ago, see right there, the last one on the bottom, minus 242, okay? And NASDAQ has always said, lightning strikes twice only in the futures market, okay? And we were down about 250 here. Here we closed off 50 off our lows, and we were down 217, okay? So if this was, we'll see here, we'll see here. We could, anything could happen. If we got up here, I think I would take a shot and sell it and try to get on board. And you buy it over here under 68.88. Look out. You got a trend line coming up here. Okay. You got, this is just one off the tops right here. And then you have this. So it looks like, they're old eyes. So that is soybean oil. Okay. Risk is totally different now. Let's go take a peek at meal here. This is August meal, but we want to go look at July. Okay, you could see the diamonds, okay, the funds were selling it. This is a pattern right here. This is a pattern of selling. As a matter of fact, look at the volume right here. Oh, this one right here. This one right here. This was like a recognition point, okay? You just gap lower and it's just like hit a bid. And this is like about a 60-minute chart, okay? So this is where we were here. As a matter of fact, we had an olive up here in something. It might have been the May contract. Yeah, okay. It might have been the May contract. They run the May all the way up to an olive line buy. So I'll keep this short. If you need something, email me, ARP@NASDAQ, or go over there, sign up. But if you sign up, okay, I don't check this daily, okay? Selling research is pretty darn hard, and you're not getting rich on anything. And we had crossovers. We had several things get lower on the year, okay? So send me a comment. Bitcoin. It's at the end of it. Bitcoin, 59,000, 950-ish, I think, off memory, is an olive line buy. We close there. Thanks and have a nice day. Always use a risk stop to stop the risk.